So I pushed back this week's video because I really wanted to make this one. So next week I'm going to magically have longer hair because that video was supposed to be coming out this week. I record a lot of videos in advance. So, yeah. But anyway, today's video is about the new Helluva Boss short that came out. Usually I don't make videos about the shorts because, like, I just watch them and enjoy them. But this one I kind of felt like was necessary because a lot of people have taken it very seriously. And I don't understand why. It was clearly meant to be an April Fool's Day joke. But everyone is saying things like, it's real because I said so, and blah. And I'm like, no. So maybe I'm taking it too seriously, but you know what? I don't care. So I'm gonna go through all of the reasons why this episode is not canon. So like I said, it was meant to be an April Fool's Day video. Like, not meant to be taken seriously at all. I didn't take it seriously at first. I just laughed at it. Like, you know, yeah. I kind of figured it wasn't canon. Even, I think Viv, like, kind of, she didn't, like, say it technically, but she put out a post on Blue Sky. I don't have Blue Sky, but I've seen it. It's basically, like, alluding to the fact that this episode's not canon. So I'd like, I get some people may have not seen it, but like you've obviously spent time on the Hazbin and Helluva subreddit because that's where I'm getting all this from. So yeah, I think it's kind of obvious from this post that she made that the episode isn't canon. So I don't really know what to say about that. Also, Viv has literally confirmed that Chaz is dead. You know, because if you haven't seen it, spoiler warning, the plot is that the IMP go to Chaz's funeral, and everyone that Chaz has ever had sex with is there. I'll get into that in a little bit. And then his identical twin brother Zach, which is Chaz backwards, by the way, comes up on stage and says all the reasons he's going to miss his brother, blah, blah, blah. And there's also a detail where he's wearing false teeth because Crimson has Chaz's actual teeth. I'll get into that later as well. So, yeah, I like, it's a funny, like, gag, and at first I was like, is that Chaz? But the episode makes it very clear that it's not meant to be taken seriously. So it's like a Schrodinger's cat. It both is and isn't Chaz, but again, not meant to be taken seriously. Okay, so like I said, everyone that Chaz ever had sex with is at his funeral, which would make sense, but a couple of things. One, Andrilphus is there. And, okay, so first off, Andrilphus would be a total hypocrite if he slept with a lower class demon, because that's kind of what he pulled Stolas up for. But I'm okay with that, because that would make sense for Andrilphus to be a hypocrite, because, I mean, all of the world demons are hypocrites. But there is one thing. This is definitely not in character for Andrilphus at all. He would never, ever go to Chaz's funeral and risk being caught. So, the fact that he's even there to begin with just shows that this isn't canon, because, again, Andrilphus is too, like, cares about his status that he wouldn't do that. Especially since he now has Stolas's, like, powers and everything for the next 100 years. And we know that this episode takes place after Blitz got the Osmodian crystal, because Emberlyn is there. I'll get into her as well in a little bit. But, yeah, Andrilphus being there just is... should be enough proof that it's not canon, because, again, even though it would make sense for him to be a hypocrite, he wouldn't go to Chaz's funeral for the risk of being caught and outed. Also, Bea and Ozzy were there, and the funny thing is, I actually don't mind them being there at all, because they don't care about, like, being seen with their, like, lower class partners, so that's, like, whatever. Like, if they can go into Chaz's funeral all they want, because that makes sense for their character, but what doesn't make sense is how did Chaz get into the situation where he slept with them both to begin with? Because it makes sense how Ozzy met Fizz and how Bea met Tex, because, like, Tex goes to the Hellhound parties, so obviously Bea met him there and they connected. And Fizz also works for Ozzy in a way, making the sex dolls of him. So it makes sense how they met. But how would have Chaz met either of them? You could argue that he could have met Ozzy at his nightclub or Bea at one of her parties, but we know Chaz is broke, so I don't think he could afford to go to either of those. I know Luna kind of got in for free, but to be fair, she was also invited by Tex, so I feel like that might be a little bit different. So yeah, although it does make sense for them as characters to be there, it doesn't make sense that they'd even be in that situation to begin with. And speaking of Ozzy, he obviously took Fizz with him as his emotional support frog, which is a cute detail, but one thing I did notice, Fizz is literally wearing his clown outfit under the t-shirt, and he destroyed that. Like, you could argue he has more than one, but then that would go against his whole character arc, where he literally ripped it apart on stage to symbolize that he's freeing himself from Mammon's, like, control. So, also doesn't make sense either. if it was canon, he would have been wearing something else, like a black suit or something over the under the t-shirt, not his clown suit. And sure, he did wear it in the Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss crossover teaser, but that was also not canon, so that doesn't matter either. Also, Barbie was there too, and while I have no trouble believing she's one of Chaz's exes, I feel like she would have reacted to seeing the IMP there, because, like, she knows who Moxie is, so, and Moxie's the one who, like, first, like, outed, like, Zach, you're just Chaz. So, I feel like she would have reacted to seeing him, and then obviously saw that he was a Blitz, and then obviously be like, oh shit, Blitz is here, I need to leave. But no, she was just on her phone, not paying attention. So, I feel like that in itself also shows it's not canon, but, like, again, I can believe that she's one of Chaz's exes, but she definitely would have reacted to seeing IMP there, 1000%. Also, another thing, Emberlyn was literally on FaceTime at the funeral, and it's like, oh, okay, it's a funny detail because sinners aren't allowed to leave the Pride Ring, so it's actually the first time the show's actually acknowledged that, so I appreciate that. But, one, why would Emberlyn even know who Chaz is to begin with? Like, I get why she'd want to fuck him, like, obviously, but she wouldn't have any idea who he is, because he would have already been dead by the time she got to hell. Like, maybe, like, she saw, like, in a newspaper, like, oh, the sexy shark demon died, oh, but, again, like, she knows nothing about him, like, so, while it's a funny gag, and it also finally acknowledges the lore of the show, it doesn't make sense if it was canon, because, again, how would she even know who Chaz is? Like, there's no way of her that she'd know that. So yeah, definitely not canon, 100%. Also, the ending where Eminem calls Zach out is, like, the joke. Because, like, they're like, you're just Chaz. You have all the same things as Chaz. And he's like, yeah, we're identical twins. And then, you know, everyone at the funeral gets mad at them and kicks them out. And then, like, that's the joke, you know? And I feel like even Blitz at the end is, like, you know, when he looks at the camera and says, I guess we'll never know. Like, are people really this media illiterate? Like, really? Like, is that not enough for you? That Blitz saying that is showing that it's not meant to be taken seriously? Like, I don't get it. This fandom confuses me. Like, this is almost as bad, right, as people trying to say that Charlie did not care about Lucifer in the season 2 finale of Hazbin Hotel. It's not as bad as that, but it kind of feels on the same level to me of this kind of, like, media literacy. Okay, so a couple of things about Zach / Chaz, because, again, we don't actually know if they're the same character or not, which is funny. So his name in the credits is purposefully all wonky, because it's meant to be showing, like, he's just a gag character, he's not a serious character. Because even though Chaz was, like, a gag character too, he was at least, like, a real character. So I thought that was funny, at least. And also, another thing about Chaz, right, is that, like, I know it's still part of the mystery of the episode, but, like, there would be no way he would ever escape from Crimson. So, if this was canon, I actually do think that this actually is Chaz's brother, because that would be even funnier. But, yeah, there's no way that Chaz would be able to escape from Crimson like that. Like, I know, like, the M&Ms and Blitz escaped from him, but that's because he just thought it's not worth the fight. But Chaz is not strong like like Crimson and his mafia is, so there's no way in literal hell that he'd get away from him. And lastly, like I said, Viv made the post, like, alluding that this isn't canon. Like, I feel like if Viv says something, you should, like, listen, because it's her show, she knows what she's doing with it. I don't know. Like, I already talked about the beginning, so we're just gonna move on. I just think that, like, you know, this fandom takes things too seriously sometimes. Like, it doesn't change the enjoyment from the short. The short's still fun. It actually did make me laugh a couple times. And you can also ship the characters. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't change anything like that. I just think that the episode's kind of more of a commentary on, like, fan shipping, because of all of the characters that went to his funeral that Chaz supposedly slept with. Like, again, like, some of them definitely did sleep with, but some of them I'm just like, no, he didn't. So yeah, at the end of the day, like, don't take it too seriously. It was an April Fool's joke, and it's also an animated show about demons, so, like, that's more proof not to take it seriously. But that's where I'm going to end this video. Ironically, the video's longer than the actual short itself, but I did enjoy it, just so you know. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, because maybe you still think it's canon even after I've said this, but hey-ho, that's a skill issue. And I will see you next time when my hair magically grows longer. Bye!